Hello. I just realized that the YouTube. I mean, right now YouTube Live is just on me. YouTube Live can't see the slides. I just realized. I don't. She could. Yeah. Should we do that as well, or? Yeah, exactly. That's what I just texted the facilities right now. Yeah, so you could see. Um, yeah, I texted him, but I think he's out there, right? Yeah, if you can find him, yeah. PTO elections is this Friday or next Friday? Like 1 week? June 7th, one Friday, 1 week. The following Friday. Okay, nice. Do you know, Amir, is there a way that YouTube can see the slides either by do I physically need to be.
What's up?
Do you think? How can YouTube Live see the slides and not just me? Or no, that's not
Have they not seen
possible.
the slides? They
Sorry.
should be able to.
They're not.
Okay, got it. Got it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. YouTube just shows the camera, myself. No, because I'm not doing YouTube. I'm not doing Zoom. We're doing YouTube Live through the Masjid feed. Yeah, that's what we're using instead of Zoom. Yeah, so they're back there. It's the sound room where they manage all of that. Yeah, I'm sure they can, right? Yeah, yeah. I think they're working on that right now. I know. I'm so used to Zoom, just sharing our screen, right? I don't know. Okay, I think we're just going to start, and it's okay. You two people can just listen to me for right now. And they'll eventually be able to see the slides, and I'll send them out as well. It's just we're also here for the preschool once upon a time play, so we don't want to delay that. And you know me, I say I'm going to take an hour, but I really do need to take less than an hour, like, for real this time. But I know that's going to be very challenging. Alhamdulillah. Right, yeah, you guys will just start walking out because some of you do have earlier time slots. So I'm not offended. Know that whenever your time slot is for the play, please do go. I know. My time slot, I think, is not until 10:20, so I get it. You guys have earlier time slots. So I just want to start off by, of course, thanking the Board of Education. They're an integral part of the school, alhamdulillah. This is all volunteer work. It is not easy. You're almost doing the work of, of a second job practically. So really want to appreciate, of course, the board president, Brother Rami. He's at work, so inshallah, he's watching. And then our treasurer, Brother Mustafa, he is somewhere here. Mashallah, they were just finishing up the awards for the soccer tournament this morning. Alhamdulillah, Sister Lizette is here. Saba, I haven't seen Sausan and Sundus. So mashallah, thank you to all of our board members for always being supportive this school year and last school year as well, mashallah. And of course, I put because I love PTO the most, your slide's at the end, because I saved the best for last. So know that you guys are also an integral part of our school, but somehow your slide is at the end. But I love you guys. I love you guys. All right, so we're gonna go over some highlights through the school, including the Quran program, some STAR results. I always go over our STAR reading and math as a school, some strategic plan metrics, fundraising, overview, and then what's new for next school year. Of course, I'd like to start off, so just to remind everyone, we had 2 exiting classes of OCS. So they exited 10th grade because when we first started our venture of a high school back in 2019, we didn't know 2020 was going to change a lot of our plans. So due to COVID, we actually stopped. Yeah, it's good now? Thank you. So I guess YouTube can now see the slides. We had to exit out our first 2 10th grade groups. Sorry, I left my coffee, so thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. So they exited OCS in 21 and 22. They're our first 2 groups that didn't have the option to move on to 11th grade. They had to exit using CHESP, the California High School Exit Exam. So that group, mashallah, that first group completed their first year of university. A lot of them, mashallah, got into UCLA, UCI, UCR, UC San Diego. So mashallah, they just completed their first year of college as juniors, where they would have been a first-year freshman. They completed, because of their units and exiting 2 years early, they're actually completing their first year as juniors. And then our second group that we had to exit out of 10th grade, they all got their college acceptances now, and they're going into these universities. Again, they got into UCI, Chapman, UC San Diego. So those was a group of 10 boys, mashallah, and the majority of them either stayed the 2 years ahead, so they're gonna be starting as juniors, or they have 1 more year left of community college, and they'll be transferring the following year. So those were our 2 first high school groups that we had to exit in 10th. Now, we have 11th grade this year. We have 11th, and mashallah, they're still powerhouses. They also wanted to finish early. Not most of them are not going to stay until our 12th grade because they've been doing dual enrollment since 9th grade. They've also gotten ahead. So mashallah, we have 2 of our 11th graders will be staying with us next year and continuing dual enrollment. So you're able to still get ahead while being an OCS high school student. You can actually still exit 1 to 2 years ahead as a 12th grader from OCS. So that will be our first 2 to be doing that path. And inshallah, as we grow, more and more students will be going through our 11th and 12th grade. But mashallah, 5 have decided after 11th grade, we're exiting. They passed the CHESP exam. They wish to get a head start. And they're going in still. Some of them are going in not just as sophomores, but going in as juniors because they've been doing dual enrollment with OCS since 9th and 10th grade. And taking community college classes as a high school student is free. And you're able to take up to 9 to 11 units per semester for free as a high school student. So mashallah, a lot of them were doing that along the way. We actually have one who's going to be graduating with an OCS diploma come summer. She's doing some of her coursework over summer school. And we have one, mashallah, we're very excited for. Again, overachiever. we want to show that there, many paths lead to Rome, right? There's many paths to college and to your career. One of them, mashallah, was able to, Hania, complete all of her not only OCS high school graduate requirements, but also community college transfer. So she's actually graduating as an OCS student with a diploma from OCS, because we are accredited up until 11th, and the next year we'll add 12th, and she's going straight to UC. She got accepted to 3 UC universities straight from OCS. So she did dual enrollment, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. She never was a full-time community college student. She was doing OCS. She got into UCI, UC San Diego, and UCR, all 3, mashallah, and she selected UCI. So she's gonna go straight from 11th grade to UCI as a junior into UCI program, inshallah. She's going into medical school, so she's been doing volunteer work with the hospital with Hogue once a week. She's been an intern. So mashallah, our students have really lots of opportunities to be well-rounded, to be in multiple different, not just sports, but in internships and volunteer work, doing dual enrollment. So mashallah, we're very proud of Hania to be graduating. Yes, a round of applause for her. We'll be recognizing her and our other students tonight at the high school banquet as well. Of course, our goal is to push all our students through 12th grade. That is our goal, because you can do dual enrollment and be ahead, because we feel like dual enrollment in a safe Islamic environment, community college, it's a different environment, and a lot of our kids, the first 2 groups were 16, 17 in that environment, but it was COVID, so they took majority of their classes online. I still highly recommend, of course, that our students complete their OCS high school till 12th grade and continue to do dual enrollment. And we have, mashallah, we keep having more and more examples how that is working for our students, alhamdulillah. This is a fun slide because I just like numbers, and I know you can't see it. And when you get it, I want you to see our enrollment from 1995 till now. This is OCS enrollment. So this was, obviously OCS started back in '83, but we have enrollment numbers that I was able since '95. So you could see we've been fluctuating for 300s, 400s. Sister Nihed is when we hit our 25th anniversary. Those are always kind of referred to as the golden years of OCS. You could see that's when we were in the 450, 460. We were very high in our enrollment. Then, of course, after those years, OCS definitely took some dips, right? Change of principals, different financials. It was tough. I think tuition back in that time was $350, $450. It was very low. We had 30 plus students in a classroom. We actually, when I saw the enrollment numbers, I saw 3rd grade. It showed we had 2 or 3 3rd grades, each with 30 plus students in them, because OCS was the only Islamic high school. That's why I align all the other Islamic schools along with us. You see that an Islamic school didn't come around until 2000, 2001. And then slowly more and more Islamic schools came in Orange County, where OCS you can't keep up with the size of 30 class anymore. When you're the only Islamic school, you can get away with having 30 plus kids in a classroom. But as we had more and more Islamic schools, which is great, we want more Islamic schools, and we still want more Islamic schools. When people say, oh, Rahma is gonna open, great, I want more Islamic schools, we should. Because mashallah, there's a lot of families out there that still go to either public or doing other programming. So let's get stronger and stronger as Islamic schools when more and more are available to our families. So that obviously, we took a hit. But mashallah, you see the yellow are the 3 COVID years that we really were kind of impacted, where we really went down as low as 260 right before COVID, 294, 251. Now, mashallah, this year we were 469. Next year we anticipate being close to 500 students, mashallah. So almost, at least in record, one of the largest numbers of OCS's history of being close to 500 students, inshallah. So we're really excited for the growth. That means a lot needs to be changing, and it is slowly, alhamdulillah, in terms of the physical space, our schooling and all of that. So we're really proud of our growth and where we've come over these years as OCS, being pretty much one of the first Islamic schools in the state of California and one of the largest, alhamdulillah. And in the state of California, there are only 6 Islamic high schools in the state of California. I mean, in Texas, in one city in a 30-mile radius is 6 high schools. But in the whole state of California, there's 6, and OCS is one of them. So that's very exciting growth for our school, alhamdulillah. So now let's go through all of our programs. Montessori, mashallah. So now we added room 2 this school year, so we added another room because, again, the demand, that wait list is still over 100 students to get into our Montessori program. There's people that have been waiting 1-2 years now to try to get in because pretty much our current families lock in all the spots and stay. So the only new spots become the 10 or 11 that's in the toddler room. The 18-month-year-old is pretty much the only spot to really get into. And once you're in, you want to stay in because you want to lock in those spots because we can't add another room next year. So alhamdulillah, we added a new room this year, but we're not adding another one next year. So we're already maxed out about 160 students in our entire Montessori program. We're full. 160 includes toddler to KG. So alhamdulillah, we included KG this year into our Montessori program. Their curriculum is very rich, mashallah, in what they're providing for our students. Yes, you see 160. We've added new furniture, new materials. We've really spent over, almost close to, $50,000, $60,000 in all the new furniture, all the new materials. We did a lot of fundraisers last year, PTO and the board, mashallah, to support all this new growth with the Montessori. They also adopted Bidaya. They're going to have their own celebration soon of the Quran reading program, mashallah. Sister Alia has really taken ownership of that. She's even made hands-on materials that look Montessori for the Quran in Arabic with Sister Rania. They've actually now made Montessori material in Arabic and Quran to match what they do in reading and math of the same type of manipulatives. So they've been really building up that curriculum of religious studies as well for our little ones. We Arabic, mashallah, that have emergent monthly themes. And now as we end the year, preschool will be ending its year with Once Upon a Time play. We're excited about that today. And then next week, kindergarten's culminating kind of graduation presentation is called Walk Through Civilizations. So they're going to walk through all the ancient civilizations and end with the Ottoman Empire, inshallah. So that's really going to be a fun presentation because graduation is now being with kindergarten, not with preschool, with Montessori. Lower school, mashallah, with having our new lower school director, mashallah, and really growing those numbers are also, we have over, I think, 200 students just in elementary. A lot of project-based learning. You've seen it. You've seen all your students with their, within history, English, science, math, mashallah. They've been doing a lot in terms of really bringing the curriculum alive in the classroom and getting students excited to come to school with all their different projects. And of course, field trips, academics, tying in not just, I know they've done things not just for fun, but it's always tied to the curriculum. When they did a Mario Kart, when they did Pioneer Day, when they did different STEM activities, it's always tied back to the curriculum. We did add something new. Our director added Black History Month this year to really have very detailed activities and obviously bringing in Islam into that heritage. So always trying to add more to our curriculum to make it relevant for our students. Obviously, you can't read this, but hopefully you've been getting the emails. That's something that having a director now of lower school, she's been providing not only weekly newsletters, she's also been providing monthly updates to give you guys pictures. So if you're like, oh, I never noticed this, just go back to your email and maybe type in monthly newsletter, and you're like, oh yeah, I have been getting this every month. So mashallah, she sent one for every single month for lower school of the highlights of what's going on in 1st through 6th grade. So that's also been a way that we've been trying to work on increasing our communication, letting know what's going on in our classrooms, keeping parents in the know throughout the school year. So that's really been, in addition, a great plus. These are just some of our teachers. We asked, hey, do you have pictures? Let's throw it up there. So some of our teachers submitted pictures. Again, you'll get this. I always send out these slides, but it was very cute. Again, a lot of project-based learning, fun activities in the classroom. We got butterflies. We got different books, plants. Again, trying to bring everything alive in our classrooms. Here's a little bit more of our upper elementary students doing projects. They loved their mall. They'd always make some good money in that mall. Again, bringing in history, reading, how to make reading more fun for our students, enticing. The Explorers Wax Museum, right? This was the Mario Kart. They were doing a reading review through Mario Kart. And you can see ancient Egypt, Greek mazes, some STEM, again, Greek theater. Mashallah, our students also like to do different philanthropy, different community service, where not only did they read the book A Long Walk for Water and Refugee, they said, let's make a fundraiser for the people, for the Palestinian children in need. Mashallah, I believe they fundraised over about $7,000, just that 6th grade group alone, and were able to donate that to a Palestinian children relief fund, mashallah. So they took what they were reading and put it into action. Upper school, same thing, different field trips that, of course, Disneyland, like, how's that curriculum? There is a leadership, mashallah, Disneyland offers a leadership program in the morning to junior high students. They take them around, they do different activities, teamwork, team building, and then the second half of the day, you get to go have fun in Disneyland, right, in California Adventure. So that was a lot of fun for our students. Of course, the much anticipated Camp 99 is always fun for all of our upper school students. And then this year, our 8th graders did go to MDAC, the Muslim Day at the Capitol, with CARE, and we tag on San Francisco to that Sacramento trip. We extended that one day from CARE, where they do policy advocacy, and then they also do some fun sightseeing in San Francisco as well. They actually stopped and saw different universities and different landmarks within, was there a delay? I think it keeps changing slowly. Okay. While they were on their trip. High school, mashallah, they went to Washington, D.C. They did a Palestine Advocacy Day. That was back in the fall with our 9th graders. Different trips, again, the zoo, UCLA. MOIC is the Model UN program in Turkey. So they went in January. 10th graders went to Turkey and were able to represent different countries. We're the only non-Muslim majority country that sends students to this. So the Model UN in Turkey is all Muslim nations, and we are the only school from the US that represents the United States, which is a non-Muslim majority country, at this Model UN in Turkey. We've been doing this for about 3-4 years now, sending our students to this. It's a great experience. Then, of course, different labs. History, they went to the Automotive Museum. That was a lot of fun. So we try to, again, not just for our elementary students, but continue through our junior high and high school as well. So again, here's just some pictures. Our students did a fabulous job. They represent us well, mashallah. When they go on these trips, I always get great positive feedback when we are in these trips, alhamdulillah. Again, project-based learning is not just for elementary. We try to continue that throughout our school. We had science fair for 7th grade. There was a Mansa Musa Hajj simulation and narrative journal. The Rube Goldberg engineering, they had to engineer how to squeeze toothpaste while doing a whole contraption. They did different models, scale drawing, drawing out a whole apartment building to scale in their math class through geometry. So mashallah, high school DNA, body systems, architect, anesthesiologist, STEAM. They did a lot with industrialism and imperialism, using Legos and different modes of art to bring alive those time periods in our history. Again, you can see some of that. Like I said, remember the Legos, the Rube Goldberg, science, their experiments, their labs. They even did crocheting at one point just to get them into the different arts, mashallah. We also offer AVID with our high school students, where they do a lot of college readiness. They learn about the different UC Cal State systems, what is the difference. They do community service projects. They learn their roadmap. Again, we want to show, I think when back in my day, and maybe for yours, it was all about going straight to the UC Cal State system. For us, like, oh, you're going to community college, that was kind of a weird no-no, or you're not as smart if you went to. But now that's completely changed, not just for OCS. Everyone's like, why pay $10,000 to $20,000 for your first 2 years of college for lower division classes when you can either get it free or significantly less in a community college setting that's actually in a much smaller setting, and then transfer? So that's not to say you shouldn't still try, but I think a lot of people have realized, both just financially and what makes sense, like community college is a very actually viable and strong pathway to the UC Cal State system now. And that's definitely changed over, at least I know, in the last 20 years held, yeah, 20 years ago plus. So that's something we're always educating our high school students about, all the different pathways they have to college and career readiness. And then, of course, we also wanted to give back to our lower kids. They love when the high school students read to the elementary. They look forward to it for reading buddies. They look up to that, and we want to continue that our high school students are role models to our elementary students. We do take the PSAT for 8th grade. So the 8th graders took it. This is the very first time they took it online. So we did have some glitches with the online, and that's due to partially also our internet issues, which we will, inshallah, hopefully one day really address. But mashallah, English, there was no glitches at that time, so they really got to focus and they took English first. So 90% of the 8th grade students met or exceeded the benchmark in the PSATs. And know that 60,000 students in the nation take the PSATs. So they did very well compared to the nation. Math is when a handful of students got less time in taking their math. They were so disappointed. It was a learning opportunity for us of how we can avoid that. So some students had 5, 10, 15 minutes less, and it's a timed exam. But alhamdulillah, they still got 63% met the math benchmark, and 60% of students met both, math and English. We had 7 of those students be in the 86th percentile and above in the nation, meaning they scored over 1,000, over 1,400, and 11 of them were in the 80th percentile, so they were in the 900 plus. And yes, again, we had some digital issues, but inshallah that is now, because the last 3 years we took PSAT, it was paper-based, so now we are more familiar with the online version, and I'm sure our students will continue to do better. And mashallah, to still have that many score above 1,000 and be in the top 15% of the nation is impressive for a standardized test. Alhamdulillah. And I think that's important, not just have to have STAR. STAR is still a normalized test to the nation, but another form to see, because we don't have the same report card system as public schools, right? We don't have that 1 through 10 rating. So this is important that we find ways to show measurement that puts us up against the nation to show the strength of OCS students. We did implement a new Quran reading program. Our focus, if you've noticed, has not been so much on memorization. And that's not to say that that's not important or that's not going to be a shift, but we really felt we needed to take a year, even 2, to make sure everyone knows how to read the Quran. Then you can fly with memorization. But until you have that solid foundation, yes, they still memorized a few surahs. Some of them, as you could see, memorized, 62 students memorized at least 1 juz during this school year, because our older students already know how to read. So you can memorize faster when you know how to read, and it's a solid memorization. So mashallah, 110 students finished the Bidayah book, and we have awards on Monday and Tuesday for that. I think the lower school is on Monday and uppers on Tuesday. I'll give you the exacts on that. Mashallah, still we had 134 students memorize from Doha to Nas. So again, we're not forgetting memorization, but we just want to make sure that the reading is there. And then, of course, memorization comes along with it. We even had some high school students that were really dedicated. They were on top of it, that you would see them sitting out with Brother Mustafa, out on the benches every day, even lunch. So their goal was 2 of them memorized Surah Al-Baqarah, mashallah, 1 Al-Imran and 1 Al-Nisa. So they were also, our high school students are taking that seriously, and I really appreciate Brother Mustafa really working with those outside of class to make that happen, mashallah. We do have 2 Hafad in our high school, but they're not due to OCS. Mashallah, we support them. They're in an Islamic environment, but they do have outside teachers. They took things at nights, in the evening, and we still recognize them because we're proud that they took that extra effort. And it really does encourage the other students. I feel like it rubs on to the students, like we honored Hafiz. One was a boy and a girl, Omar Refai, mashallah, and Zainab Siddiqa. So that helps with our high school and upper school students seeing that extra effort is needed and it can be obtained to become a Hafiz. Now STAR Math. I know I'm racing through these slides because I'm watching the clock. I already saw some of you go to your preschool play. So this is for elementary and junior high. So I'm comparing, so for our strategic metrics, we're looking at how many students are below grade level, how many are at grade level, how many are almost a year ahead, and how many are a year ahead and above. And I'm comparing the fall to the spring, so from August to May. So for elementary, mashallah, you see we went down on how many are below grade level. Across the board, we went down. And of course, and everywhere else, at grade level went down because we're pushing more students to be approaching 1 year ahead and ahead. So it's not that less students went down on being at grade levels. No, we're able to push more students to be above. So overall, the approaching 1 year ahead and ahead, so not at grade level, 77% of our elementary students are there. they're above their grade level, 77% of elementary students. And the same with junior high. 77% of junior high students are approaching or 1 year ahead. So I'm not even including at grade level. Of course, if I'm including at grade level, that's over 85, 86% are at grade level at our school. But our goal is to keep pushing students to try to be ahead when compared to the nation. Again, this is a normalized test. It compares our students to all the students in the nation that take STAR, and many do take the STAR exam. This is for math. Of course, we are stronger in math. We are stereotypical with our strength as South Asians and Middle East, but reading is also obviously a problem across all schools, not just, it's all public, private. Reading is always a struggle as you get older. So mashallah, 74% of our elementary students are approaching or 1 year ahead. We went from 55% to 74%. I mean, that's a great growth for elementary students. Because obviously coming in as first graders, second graders, and we include all students that are English language learners. We include students that have an IEP. We do not remove them from our data. So when WASC came, they're like, you do know public schools remove those students from their data. I said, you know what, let's compare apples to apples. We're not gonna remove anyone from our data right now. They're all in here. So even our English language learners are in this data. There is a point WASC does want to pull those students out, and then you'll see an even difference in the scores when we pull those students out. But our goal is, we're not gonna ignore English language learners. That is a big group of our, of our community. We wanna see, did we help them? So this numbers are including all those students, that we went from 55% to 74%. Obviously the struggles with junior high, those 55 students in junior high, a lot of it has to do with testing environment still, on the internet, on the modular side, kicked out students several times, then they become disengaged. Once you get kicked out of your reading and you have to do it again, they just wanna click right through it. We've recognized that. We're trying to work on how we can show their true growth in junior high, but it is difficult. It's a low stakes exam for students and a high stakes exam for the school. They don't get a grade. We don't want to give a grade to them, but there's ways that we're trying to incentivize, hey, but if you show growth, we'll give you extra credit, or we'll do this for you. So it's going to be a time where we can really show our junior high growth, and that they really do need more, right? Not to disregard that there are students that once you fall behind in elementary, it doesn't help as you get older. More work has to be done as a school, as parents, as extra work, summer, after school. So 55% of those 55 students are a year ahead and above. We still have a lot of work to do as our students get older in different areas, inshallah. But I'm really proud of our elementary students, of where they've come from 55 to 74% or above. Again, I'm not even including the at grade level students. You could see below grade level in the fall, 32% and 35% of elementary were below grade level when they came to us, right? Now they're only at 16% are below grade level as they end the year in elementary. Again, junior high, we're working on it. It's just a matter of almost like a few points would have made a difference. But mashallah, we want to recognize the growth that our students have made, alhamdulillah. Fundraising. This was a big deal for this school year. So I am completing my 11th year as principal. And in my 11 years, the last 10, we always ended the school year in a deficit, in a minus, that we had a budget where we had to fundraise to make that deficit as low as possible. So there were some years were able to fundraise just to make our deficit as close to zero as possible. So the fundraising went completely to the budget because what we were charging in tuition did not match the expenses of the school. So I'm very excited to announce that this is the first year that this fundraising, the majority of it is not going to our budget. We actually are in a surplus this year, alhamdulillah, because of the tuition increases, because of the enrollment increase, and because we still did not increase our expenses to the same level of our income, we are net positive this year, alhamdulillah. So that is a big deal for our school. That has not happened in my history of being here, and I'm sure it's been a while since that's happened. The promise that we made at the gala is that $250,000 of what we fundraise will go towards opening an endowment fund for OCS. Again, we've never had an endowment. Majority of private institutions, universities have endowment funds where you start off with $500,000, $1 million, and then as it grows, you're able to pull from it and use it as income to pay off for some of your programming, to support some of your tuition assistance, your different scholarship programs, where then it doesn't come from your budget. So that is our goal. We're waiting on the employee tax retention credit. That has not come in, so the goal is, we raised $250,000. We hope from the tax credit $250,000 so that we can start when it's approved and it's all in. So this is all in the talking phases, but these are our goals, and that is what we're working towards, of opening the very first OCS endowment fund, so that this money just doesn't sit. We want it to grow and work for OCS, for our growth, inshallah. So that is our goal. We're working on opening those funds. Obviously, there's a lot of policies involved with endowment, a lot of rules, so we're getting there. And of course, with all the approvals that are needed. So that's the goal, to set aside what we fundraise it, but the rest, we have already started to use towards things that we've promised. Mashallah, we've purchased iPads for the Montessori Bidaya program. We just purchased iPads for the Quran for the entire school program. We have brand new soccer goals. We're in the process working with PTO and some donors to purchase 3 Chromebook carts and an iPad cart. That is in its progress right now. Then we want to work towards more one-to-one. In the elementary classrooms, they share Chromebook carts. Our goal is that every elementary grade has their own Chromebook cart, inshallah. So we're getting there, and we want to show where your fundraising is going towards, because no matter what, there'll always be fundraising. There'll always be fundraising. It's just how we're using those funds is what's really shifted for OCS in this past year, alhamdulillah. And we want to keep that up, inshallah. We only increased tuition by 2% this coming school year. So obviously things are a little bit tighter for us. But alhamdulillah, we wanted to give parents a little bit of a breather after those 2 years of pretty large increases, 15 to 17% increases these last 2 years. We said, we'll give you guys a break. We'll do 2%. But of course, that does make things tight because the cost of living adjustment for staff was 3%. So you already see there was a difference in what we collected and what we're giving out, because holding our staff, holding on to strong teachers is what makes OCS. So we need to hold on to them. And our salary, we're trying. If you only knew, our salary range was closer to 30, 40,000 before COVID. That significantly changed. But teachers with their credential can start 60 to 80,000 in public schools. So that's why you might feel like, man, this tuition increase is killing us. We're trying to keep up with holding on to the teachers that make it for our students. That turnover is difficult, but holding on to teachers that are strong, that are invested in the school, that's what makes it really important for our school. So we're working with everyone. We appreciate when we always have a fundraiser. It's for the betterment of our children in our school. And this year we actually did a lot of fundraisers for relief organizations to show we are part of a larger ummah, a part of a larger body, a cause. So a lot of fundraising actually went towards relief organizations this year because we cannot ignore what's going on around us. So alhamdulillah, and that gave our students a sense of purpose, that they feel lost, of what can we do during this time. That alhamdulillah, doing those different fundraisers really helped our students as well, alhamdulillah, feeling part of a bigger cause. This is just an overview. Of course, alhamdulillah, we have a lot of great things that happen at OCS, alhamdulillah, all throughout, Night Under the Stars, all the PTO events that they help us with, really making OCS special. Umrah trip, Turkey, Clippers, right, our walkathon, Leadership Day, Science Fair. You could see the whole list, mashallah, of what we do at our school to be really a whole school of, creating well-rounded students, alhamdulillah. So we had a great year, and we look forward to another great year, of course, inshallah. This was really exciting. I'm highlighting this event in particular because this was something new. We've had a family iftar Ramadan dinner for many years now, and we always charged for a ticket. Again, we charged just so we can pay for the food, we would pay for the linen and the tables and the service, but this year, mashallah, the Board of Education and the PTO and the school administration said, we want an event that's accessible to all of our families, so we do not want to charge for a ticket this year. So this event was free, and we had over 700 people in attendance. Like I said, in the past, it's been closer to 150, 200, 250, because again, you have to buy a ticket to have a Ramadan iftar. So that was such a wholesome, really a wonderful, uplifting feeling to see our entire school community breaking fast together in the night of Ramadan. It was special. For those that attended, I'm sure you felt the same thing. And inshallah, this continues to be a tradition. And it really couldn't have happened. We had about 3-4 of our families step up and said, we're going to sponsor $5,000. We're going to sponsor $1,000. Because this night was over $10,000 to feed all these people, mashallah. There's a cost to the food. And alhamdulillah, through, like I said, all of the group efforts and parents who donated were able to completely pay for the cost of this night. Alhamdulillah, we were able to fundraise a little over $9,000 for Chromebooks on this night, and that's how we're purchasing now. Those Chromebooks was one of the fundraisers that we did this night, was for Chromebooks. Alhamdulillah. So that was a special event I wanted to highlight. So what's new for next year? I spoke about it before, and I feel like you guys are the crew that always listen to my PTO meetings, so I feel like I'm speaking to the choir right now because a lot of you heard this, so I'm going to briefly go over facts. So we've had Sycamore over 12 years now, almost maybe even 13 years we've had Sycamore. Sycamore is going bye-bye. We are finally switching so SIS is Student Information System. We're switching it. We're switching to FACS. And why we chose FACS, there's a lot of options out there. I'm sure you guys have heard of like GradeLink or Aries or Canvas, or there's a lot of different Blackboard. But why we chose FACS is it's an all-in-one. That's really going to address all the needs of our school. So FACS offers 7 different modulars. We have now purchased 5 of them, which is tuition management and student billing, student information system, admissions and enrollment, mobile app and website, and online giving. That way, everything is in one place and lives in one place. So when you make a donation, you can get that receipt on your fingertips. You don't need to wait until January to get a receipt for your donation. You want to know how much you owe exactly in lunch or in after school or in field trip, you get to look that up immediately and see that. Sorry, okay, just got up real quick. You want to pay online? You can. The new website is going to be tied to the app and tied to online. So when there's a change to one, it's going to update all 3. When you want to know what's happening, you know you're going to get the most up-to-date information because all the systems are talking to each other, and it's a single sign-on. We did try an online tuition payment system a few years back, for those who remember, but unfortunately why that was not successful because it wasn't a single sign-on. You had to sign on to Sycamore, and then you had to sign on to Smart Tuition, and they weren't talking to each other, and it was 2 different systems that you had to remember to sign into. FACS is a single sign-on. You sign into one, and you're able to have that all at your fingertips. I know we were so used to just going into Brother Munir, Sister Michelle, but we really are not going to have that this coming school year once FACS is up and going. We want you to pay your field trips. No more Venmo. Venmo is killing us on an accounting standpoint and keeping track. Venmo is great between friends. Venmo is great on a PTO event when you want to buy popcorn for $5 or $1 or nachos. It is not great when you pay tuition. Of course, during COVID, we had to. It helped us during a time when coming in person was difficult. But now that we've grown from a $1.8 million budget to a $5 million budget. So paying on Venmo is very difficult for us now. So that's why we're transitioning out. We're offering Zelle. And even then, our preference is going to be, once FACS is ready, is everyone is on FACS. Because it's just going to keep everything clean, up to date, at your fingertips, at our fingertips. Right now, we have close to $300,000 in outstanding payments from our families. That's about $220,000 in outstanding tuition, another $20,000 outstanding lunch money. And we're chasing after people, and I hate it. I don't want to do that as principal. I hate that I'm sending out emails right now asking people, did you pay your lunch bill? But we have to clear this year, be done with our old systems, and move to a new system that's going to automate. So you're now only going to get messaging from FACS. They will email you 3 times in a month to remind you of what you owe. You're not going to get an email from me or Brother Munir. You're going to get an email from me if you go beyond. But we want to move away from this. We are a large organization now. We're not a mom and pop, and we need everyone to be on board and understand. It was so nice to like, I know it's due the 5th. I'm going to pay it on the 10th. Brother Munir knows me. Oh, I'll get there when I get there. I'm a month behind. He knows I'm good for it. We're moving away from that. And inshallah, you will see the benefits of FACS as well. You're going to appreciate the functionality that it's going to offer. And eventually, inshallah, hopefully next year, we can add the financial aid piece. We want to move away from sensitive document information being on paper. So to apply for financial aid via paper and being looked at by, obviously I feel confident by our system, but some people may not feel confident in that system. And we want to move away of you writing down your credit card, your ACH, all of that is going to be moved to online. I'm going to come back. So FACS offers the highest level of compliance, of security and data compliance, so that it's when you're putting in your information through FACS, I know for those who know this, I don't know this, but when you read it, know that PCI level 1 is the highest level, and FACS holds that highest level, as well as they are audited. So they know they are going through the proper internal controls to make sure that the money is secure, your information is secure. When you put in your credit card and ACH, you know that FACS has that highest level of security that a website can have. So I've said this, it's going to be everything in one portal, as well as the student. You still get to check grades, missing assignments, were they tardy, absences, all of that will still be there. And like I said, it'll be tied to a custom app and website. That's all going to be worked on over the summer, inshallah, and revealed soon. You're going to see a lot more functionality and easier to use than our current Sycamore system. Uniforms is another big change for next year. I know it could feel like there's a lot of changes going on, but it's okay, alhamdulillah. I'm sure at least for pants-wise, you were gonna throw away all those pants anyways. I'm literally sending my kids with holes right now. Don't judge my children. We have like literally 10 more days, if not less, of school to get through. I understand there's some pieces like the jumper that we're gonna work with other schools to see how we can make the most environmentally sound decision of what to do with those clothing that are still in good shape that you will no longer be using for next year. So I am working within another Islamic school who may actually adopt our old uniform. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, and that'll be a great khair for an inner city underprivileged school to take on those jumpers that we will no longer be using. So we're changing the jumpers, the polos, the uniforms are changing, as well as the number of days. This year you had the option of 4 days the PE and 1 day formal. We're going back to what we were pre-COVID of 3 days formal, 2 days PE. Now, it's a single website. It's called Verona. They're a Muslim uniform company. We're very excited to be supporting a Muslim-run business, a woman Muslim-run business. She actually started off designing Muslim clothing for Macy's, if you remember the Verona brand. And then she's now realized there was a big need for schools to have proper Islamic uniform that's outside of the normal traditional cut that you get from those normal vendors. So mashallah, she'll be able to sell all the pieces for the uniform in one place. It is online though. And again, we're gonna find ways where we'll make sure you are aware of sizing, a day where you can try on different sizes and then order it online. There are warehouses based in Texas. So far, we've been getting things rather quickly when ordering. You should be able, definitely faster than French toast, I'll tell you that. French toast was really ridiculous, the lead time when we were ordering those. So alhamdulillah, she's under a week. Even in prime time, she says 3 to 5 days. I mean, we were talking French toast was taking 2 to 3 weeks. So alhamdulillah, her website will be ready around July. We'll keep you guys posted. I just wanted to give you this heads up of what's to come. Again, these aren't it still needs to be approved. We have a committee that's been working tirelessly over the last few weeks. Mashallah, Sister Mona been really working tirelessly on the designs for the upper school. So you'll see in the upper school girls side, those are custom designs that are being made for our students to be more Islamically appropriate, especially for our girls. It is not easy when our girls were continuously having to wear boy cuts to be more modest. You know that the shirts and the pants were all boy cut. We cannot order girl cut of what's a standard in a catalog. Standard catalog girl cuts do not meet our modest needs. So being able to do custom, and you'll see that the PE shirt from Verona, it's a ribbed, longer, not a ribbed, a circle, longer shirt, so to really be modest and not restrict our girls. A lot of times you see they're running, they're holding their shirt down. They're holding something. They're not as comfortable in their PE because those cuts are boy cuts. So we're really excited to be offering cuts that really work for our girls to stay active, that make our kids look sharp and look good at our school, inshallah. So once this is all 100% finalized and approved, we will be sending this out with the link, but we're giving you the general idea, very similar to pre-COVID look. Alhamdulillah, our jumper's getting a little bit of a promotion of what it once looked like, alhamdulillah. And like I said, the upper school girls are all custom pieces to fit that modest wear, inshallah. So we're excited about what's to come. Montessori is pretty much staying the same. Everyone else is different. But trust me, like I said, you don't want those Montessori shirts probably beyond this year. You would want probably a fresh round of those shirts. Yes. I know. It's gray. It's gray. No, it's gray on my screen. No, it's gray. No, there's no white. There's no white. There's no white. No. It's gray. It's that heather gray color. Yeah. So we're excited about what's to come, inshallah. I'm going to end off. I'm almost done. Believe it or not, this is a world record. We alhamdulillah, you know that we embarked on our 5-year strategic plan. This is year 1 of our 5-year plan. We had 3 different domains that we are focusing on: academic excellence, school culture, and responsible stewardship. Alhamdulillah, we've made really great progress in all these areas, but because I do want to go watch a play, I'm only going to highlight some of them that I did in bold, but a larger report will be going out in the progress in all these areas that I'm working on as we end this school year. So for here, establishing strong instructional leadership, we're really excited that we have this new director's leadership system where we have a lower school director, an upper school director, a religious studies director, school life director. That's really helped being beyond where I can be in more places at once. I'm sure you can feel that right now when you have an issue in lower or upper school, you have someone to directly speak to, not always having to wait on my time or schedule, because it would be tough. And at the end of the day, I would be like, oh, let me go talk to this person and find out. Now with this directors and this new leadership system, they're right there, can answer you, give you the feedback you need. Go into the classroom, find out what's going on, get you the answers you need, see how we can support you. So we're really excited that we were able to offer that and continue with this new leadership structure that was part of our strategic plan of having directors of each school. And of course, we've always had a preschool director, but now, of course, that was the only director we had. But now we have a Montessori director, lower, upper, religious, athletics, a student life. That is really being allowed us to do more things as a school and not everything on a single person of a principal trying to do it all. Alhamdulillah. I want to highlight in school culture, communicate with parents about student academic progress. We've really been trying to work hard with sending you those progress reports, standard-based grading, really moving away from letter grades for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, because what do those letter grades mean in those lower grades anyways? And our goal is actually to be standard-based grading all the way to 5th next year now. So we were until 3rd this year, it'll go up until 5th grade next year, standard-based grading, as well as continuing to let you know about your STAR results, letting you know about your child's progress. That's something we've been really working hard on this year because that was big feedback we were getting from parents of, we sometimes feel lost of where our students are at. And then we feel like with facts, that's actually going to improve even more next year with the functionality of facts, of you being able to know STAR testing data will be able to be put into facts now, where you don't have to rely on your student giving you that piece of paper or not, or crumpled in their backpack. Maybe they didn't give it to you. You can, again, pull it up on facts because facts integrates with so many different programs, and we're able to do that for you next school year. So that's something, again, we want to continue improving on. And lastly, the one that I want to highlight in the 3rd domain is grow OCS resources. That's something we've been really working hard on, going beyond our finances, going beyond just tuition collection, how we can work in terms of utilizing, in terms of fundraising, the PTO, parents, utilizing expertise, using our parents, being able to financially be in a place where we can go towards growth and not just towards covering a debt. That's been a really big plus for our school, that we get to move away from that finally. So we want to continue. And again, all of these areas are not done. These all still another 4 years to go. There's way more ways that we can be strengthening in all these areas, inshallah. And that's its own separate report that I want to be able to let you know that this is a journey, our strategic plan that we continue to work towards to make sure that we can strengthen OCS, inshallah. See, I told you, see, they left. But I told them they were my last slide to thank PTO. They had their own preschool performance and different things that they need to get to. But alhamdulillah, we're very thankful for our PTO and what they do, really helping add that spice to all of our events. You see them in terms of either with the food or with coordination, the WhatsApp groups, the gala, the baskets, really going beyond and being able to, working with parents to bring the shade to the playground, bringing more Chromebook carts. All of that is to help with so you were all PTO, but obviously this is the PTO board, and we appreciate all the efforts that our parents do to help with our school, and specifically those who take on a leadership role within the PTO board. Know that next Friday will be elections for next year's PTO board, so you do want to come next Friday to that last PTO meeting of the year. That's June 7th. Well, they'll be running elections for the next year, inshallah. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Big shout out to that board. It's a lot. I think this is it. So this is truly my last slide of important dates for next year. I believe when you registered, you received some of these dates. But again, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, I didn't realize. So I'm going to keep trying to put these dates in front of you. So you know the first day of school is Tuesday, August 27th. It's a Tuesday. We had to start on a Tuesday this school year. Again, it's always a draw of when Eid and Ramadan falls, and we have to legally stay within the 180 school days. And now Eid al-Adha is coming into the school year. So now you're having to make sure we are getting into the year 2 holidays now, when we only had 1. For a while, it was even 0. So no, that impacts our days and how many days we can give off, because we have to incorporate now another Eid, inshallah, next year. Look out for Hajj simulation. That's back. We haven't had a Hajj simulation at least in 5, 6, 7 years. We're very excited. We miss our camel. I don't even know if he's still alive. I miss him. We used to bring him for our Hajj simulation, a camel. He was awesome. It was the same camel for like 3 years, so we got to see him grow. It was a lot of fun. So that gets to come back, inshallah, the end of next school year, our Hajj simulation, and having Yom Arafah within the school year. Winter break, you can see that, again, we go till Monday. We come back on a Tuesday from winter break. Monday is a staff in service where we give our staff a day back from break to get ready to welcome you all back after 2 weeks off. Spring and Eid break, I know it was beautiful having 2 weeks this year. Again, with the 180 days, we cannot do that. And for some of you, you could have been like, no, that was too many, actually. Take them back. So it's a week and 2 days. So it's 7 school days that are off. So you're going to have a whole week off for spring break. Eid falls on a weekend, so we give Monday and Tuesday off as well. So you'll come back on a Wednesday for spring break. So you'll have a week and 2 days off this coming school year. So again, to plan, to know what's to come, that's for your spring break. And of course, the last day of school is June 12th. And then for Montessori, it's the 13th, their graduation. So for those who like to plan ahead, buy your tickets for travel for next year. These are the dates for the coming 24-25 school year, inshallah. All right, I started 8:40. It is 9:34. So alhamdulillah, I was on a mission. But now let me open up to some questions if you have. Let's take about 10, 15 minutes so then we can all get to our play for those who want to go to your preschool plays, inshallah. So jazakallah khair. I kept talking. Questions, and I can go back to any slide, any questions, or something I didn't cover that you had a question on. Is Wednesday, and then Thursday is the graduation. Wednesday is this is for the next school year. Yeah, this is for the next school year. Yeah, we're trying, again, some of you have been asking me for these dates from like a month or 2 ago, mashallah. You are pre-planners, like to get ahead, especially for those who want to plan either Umrah or traveling, now Hajj. So Hajj is in the school year next year. So some of you who plan to leave in June, just know, don't take your children, right? Like there's still finals and end of year. We can only adjust so much. Obviously, every family has to make their own decision when it comes to Hajj, but understand that we can't end school before Hajj. It's going to be within our school year for the next, 15 years. So just you have to plan appropriately as long as you give us a 30-day notice. You should know you're going to Hajj more than 30 days in advance. That way the teachers in the school can work with you. If you plan to go to Hajj, just give us a 30-day notice so we can make all the appropriate plans for you. Because khalas, this is going to be our new reality for the coming years of Hajj being within the school year. We were lucky in the summer for how many, but now khalas, we have both Eids within the school year. Any other question? Yes, Mana. Yes, it is. It is during Ramadan. It is. Know that I know you cannot travel during Ramadan unless if you want to go to Umrah or something fun while you're fasting. Understand that we are a shared campus. And it is very difficult on not only, so our families appreciate that they can do Taraweeh because being a shared campus, also our staff. They're literally up until midnight, 2 a.m., and then to come back for school the next day. It works as IOCC as a whole for us to be off as many of the last 10 nights as possible. So for those there's etikaf here in the masjid, people are sleeping and we have students. There's programming that is happening. They're trying to flip the campus. Literally, there'll be a qiyam at night and then we're coming to school the next week and they're having to flip over the campus. So, and we want to encourage that our families get to enjoy as many of the last 10 nights as possible. So we have multiple reasons, and it's a blessing that we're a joint campus, but we also have to make accommodations that we're a joint campus, right? So I know it doesn't help for those who want to, go traveling during spring break, but we had to make this decision for a few more years because there's only so many. If we give days off for Ramadan and spring break that are separated, again, it's going to make us either start school earlier and school later, because no matter what, we have to stay within that 180 frame. And if both Eids fall midweek, then we have to give 2 days for this Eid, 2 days for that Eid. You could see as organization, administratively, it's not the easiest to accommodate the US holidays, the Islamic holidays, and everything. So I know it's unfortunate, but it will be a few more years of us trying to align as much as possible spring break with Ramadan. Yeah, but there'll be a time it won't be aligned. We'll just have to separate it. And then that means, again, school starts earlier, ends later. We'll have to accommodate less days off to make it work. But alhamdulillah, these are good problems. Alhamdulillah. Any other questions? What's that? Oh, yeah, no, of course. We have our high school banquet tonight. So if those who purchase your tickets, we'll see you tonight, inshallah, so that we could recognize all of their efforts and what they've done. Of course, it's still not a graduation yet. We'll get there. We're almost there, right? Next year will be our first 12th grade class. And who knows, maybe there will be a graduation, or maybe it'll be 2 more years until there's a graduation. But it's okay. We start and we continue to grow, alhamdulillah. Anything else? You guys are good. MashaAllah. Wow. I think this is also another world record of the number of questions. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair. I really, really do appreciate you came this morning. Enjoyed the remaining, I think 9 days left of school, inshallah. And hopefully you guys all have a cleared balance for your account. And know that we've shifted the first month's tuition from July to June this year. Again, all of our expenses come now. Our expenses as a school come in the summer. So we needed to shift by that 1 month. Montessori, you get a break. You shifted the other way. Montessori, you start in August because we want you to enroll in summer school. So we still want your tuition money, but we want it for summer school. And then you get to start the next year in August, inshallah, your payments. But for 1st through 12th grade, it is starting June. We're in a transition period, so obviously there won't be late fees right now, but sooner is better just so we're not having to be in this pay off the materials fees, get that all taken care of now until fax is ready, inshallah. All right, Jazakallah khair. All right, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you.